Ladies and gentlemen, we have our third place finisher in today's 46th annual GEICO 500 NASCAR Sprint Cup Series race, and that's Clint Bowyer. And Clint drove the number 15 Peak Lemonade 5-hour energy LBBC Toyota for Michael Waltrip Racing. And Clint, maybe just talk about the race out there today. Certainly a lot of intensity out there. You were right up front, running for the win. And what was your perspective and what was your take on today's race here at Talladega?
Well, my game plan worked. You know, it's so hard to strategize around this. I mean, you can a little bit, but you still gotta, bob and weave and take it as it comes. I kind of usually have a lap for a rule of thumb that I try to go by. It's not much fun riding around there in the back. You kind of got to wake yourself up there and get back in the action. But, it's what you got to do. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to throw a Hail Mary at one point or another to put yourself in contention to win at these restrictor plate tracks. And it's like I always said, if I'm going to throw a Hail Mary, I'd just soon throw one of them. I don't want to get intercepted, any more than I have to. So, there was a point in the race there where they were 3 wide ahead of me. I was kind of in a pocket where I wanted to be, where I felt it was safe, and they got jumbled up and about wrecked. And I thought that was my opportunity a little bit sooner than I wanted to go, but that was a good opportunity. I went from about 25th and drove up what was going to be 3rd, and that caution came out when we were all on pit road. But just like I said, it's a fun, unbelievable experience. Hard to explain, what happens. It goes through your mind those last, 10 laps or so, especially, 9 laps there with the green-white checkers. Was in contention. I was in the spot I wanted to be in that next to last run in the middle. Really did think that I was going to have a true shot at the win, and then, the caution come out and got me on the bottom. But still, 3rd place is a good day for us.
Questions for Clint Bowyer, Don, and then Ed. Get a mic there to Don and then Ed, please.
Clint, Don Coble with the Florida Times-Union. In your racing days, you've probably seen a lot of strange things. But to see Matt Kenseth push Brad to the win on the final lap, could you have imagined that could have happened, especially with what happened last week?
Yeah, I can. If he could have flipped him to win the race, he probably would have. But that's me being a smartass, though. That's just competition. Matt needed to push the 2 to get his best position and get himself in an overall shot to win that race. It doesn't matter if it's your worst enemy out there or your best friend, your closest friend as far as racers go. But you've got to use them, and he was using the 2 car as much as the 2 car was using him at that point.
Go ahead, Ed.
Ed Hinton, ESPN.com. Clint, I doubt very seriously you had time to watch what I'm about to ask, but if you had time, could you sort of be the play-by-play man on what went on between the 2, the 31, and the 20 coming up to push him after? Were you able to see much of that, and can you describe?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. You all get locked together. We did that next to last restart. We were really locked together. Both lanes seemed like 4 or 5 deep. They were just bumper to bumper and pretty much locked on the track. The last one we were jumbled up pretty bad, so that leaves margin for people to get runs and pushes and harder bumps and things like that to catapult you in a position or not. That being said, I was having to. It forces your hand to protect. And try to figure out ultimately coming off the 2 what lane you want to be in. And in my mind, I didn't want to be on that outside lane. I either wanted to be on the bottom or the middle. And right off the bat, I realized that the middle wasn't going to be an option because they were already there and tight down on our door. So it was left to be on the bottom, pushing Matt. Do you realize you pushed Brad Keselowski to the win? Karma's a bitch, isn't it?
I was hoping to spin him out. I'm just kidding.
I already told him. I said if he could have flipped him to win, he probably would have.
Any additional questions for Clint? Back in the back, Tim.
Yeah, thank you, Kerry. Clint, this is Tim Despain with Pit Stop Radio. What's your take on the new chase scenario NASCAR has come out with now, and do you think they need to tweak it any for next year?
Oh boy.
Yeah, the biggest thing, you know, who am I to say what changed their way? It was great excitement, and what a wild racetrack to come down for that last run. I think they really did nail it there. What a nerve-wracking race to be in and you know, then be out. I mean, look at Jimmy Johnson. I mean, he had a legit shot at winning the race, and then you know, the 41 and I kind of squeezed him out of the middle. The only thing I don't really necessarily like is the win and you're into the next round. You know, I'm fine with the win and you're into the chase. I think that's acceptable and fair. But in my opinion, you know, watching these guys win, you know, and then just be able to like come to a Talladega and, you know, not have anything on the line like these other guys, I think it's, you know, somewhat bogus, because 10 races is not many opportunities to capitalize and win a championship. I mean, I look at other sports, you know, you don't have to, there's no bye weekends in a football playoff system or anything else. And in my opinion, it sets up a couple races to have a couple bye weekends. I don't necessarily like that.
Any other questions for Clint Bowyer? Anybody in the press box have a question for Clint Bowyer? We're good upstairs, Clint.
Good job.
Thank you, buddy.
Good race here today.